Yo guys, welcome to another video with the missing piece. Today we're going to be breaking down the UFC 294 right after the card has just finished. And yeah, it was an interesting one to say the least.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Obviously, it lived up to expectation. The fights finished very early than expected because obviously the fights ended very quickly by submission or knockout. But the first fight that we are going to recap and review is the Tim Elliott versus Mokaev, which was a featured prelim just before the main card side, and the result ended in a Mokaev submission in round three. And obviously, round one, we knew that Elliott was gonna come out very awkward because obviously it's an awkward fighting style. He showed that against obviously when he fought for the title against Demetrius Johnson, and he employed a similar game plan, being awkward, and Makai was feeling him out. I think in round one, Tim Elliott took him down. Well, Mokaev was trying to take him down, but Tim Elliott ended on top. So I think eventually round one did go to Tim Elliott, but and then round two was very similar. But I think Mokaev started reading what Tim Elliott was trying to do, and then obviously he got the eventual submission in round three.
Yeah, I think what went into that was a lot of trying to fake each other out. Even though Tim Elliott was on his back a lot of the fight, he was still quite comfortable on his back. Like there was no pressure. There was no he had to like run around and or like try and scuffle off his back. So I think he was doing well enough to very comfortable on his back. But that third round, when he had he got comfortable with his arm around the back of his head, maybe trying to potentially go for a choke, but um, yeah, it was just there. He got very comfortable, then got flipped, literally like picked up and then flipped
Yeah,
over.
that transition was absolutely
That
crazy.
that literal movement to go from being on top, um, and then to be flipped, a full grown man of your same size, flipping him around and then submitting him is that I think was probably one of the best transitions I've seen in ages. So
Yeah, I think that transition
mm,
was arguably probably in my in when watching MMA, that was probably one of the best
yeah,
because um Elliot was looking for the submission. I think he was looking for a few submissions throughout the fight,
hmm
and Mokaev winning by submission was was um was obviously saying that, oh yeah, Elliot can do this, can offer the submission threat,
hmm
but Mokaev actually finished the submission threat. So yeah, Mokaev obviously got the job done, which is good because he stays undefeated.
hmm
He's undefeated in the UFC and has an undefeated record, and now he enters the top 10 in the flyweight rankings. And he called out Amir Albazi, who
and
is
Kai Kara France.
Kai Kara France as well. I believe Amir Albazi is either number three or number four ranked, and Kai Kara France is number five. So personally, I don't think he will get the Kai Kara France fight because
That's gonna fight Manel Kape.
yeah, Kai Kara France is go. I think he is going to fight Manal Kamp because that was originally scheduled before Kai Kara France got uh injured.
hmm
Um, but Amir Albazi is I think he's a good fight
Yeah,
for Mokaev. But other than that, I don't see any other opponents probably facing Mokaev because Mokaev should get the respect from other opponents because he's entering the top 10
hmm
and has all his confidence with him. So let's see what he can do. But surely he is going to fight a top seven, top six contender.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Makaev with the submission. I think we all said that. I think we both of us said that in our last video. That I think we both said that Makaev would by
Yeah, I think
submission, I believe, or
yeah,
decision.
yeah, I think
Not
we
too
did.
sure.
I think we did say that Makai would probably get the finish
Yeah,
either way, and obviously he did.
yeah,
But yeah, that's happy for Mokaev
definitely.
because obviously, as from the preview video, I watched his first two UFC uh, fights
hmm
live at
hmm
the O2. Um, so yeah, undefeated record, carrying his confidence with him. So let's see what he can do.
But yeah, now on to the co-main event. We have Khamzat Chimaev versus Kamuru the Nightmare Usman. That ended in a majority draw. Oh, sorry, majority decision going in favor of Khamzat Chimaev. However, there's a little bit of an asterisk against one of the referees, as two of the referees had it as 29-27, and another referee had it as 28-28. That obviously indicating that he gave 2 rounds to Usman and 1 round to Khamzat Chimaev, which a lot of people seem to disagree with that. But sometimes the scoring might be a bit weird, or just you might not agree with. But yeah, it was a very good fight. Discovered at the end of the fight that Khamzat actually broke his wrist.
Yeah, he broke his wrist. I think maybe probably in round 1.
They said I think it was round 1, but I think it was when Kamaru stood up and he got flipped, and he still had his arm on the inside of Kamaru's body, and I think he might have just landed quite awkwardly on that. But,
when Usman, obviously when Khamzat had back mount, Usman got up, and obviously the only way that Usman was going to get out of that situation was taking him with him and then slamming him down. And obviously Khamzat did have his hands on Usman's underneath his chin, chest area, and obviously when Usman's coming up and slamming him down, and his hands are underneath him, obviously he's gonna he got caught with the eventual break of the wrist. So hopefully it's nothing too bad.
Yeah, nothing too serious.
Because Khamzat did look incredibly amazing in that fight. His pressure is insane.
I think he pressured one of the greatest fighters to pressure other people.
Yeah.
Like he bullied the bully.
Yeah.
Literally. Like he fully bullied him into going to a corner. Round 2 was definitely Kamuru, because I think that's when he let his hands go and realized, I can actually go strike here instead of trying to worry too much about the takedown. But he probably knew that he was going to get taken down in this fight.
Let's talk about the scoring. Obviously, scoring is a big controversial point in terms of obviously MMA scoring, and especially in the UFC as the biggest promotion of MMA. But yeah, round 1, we did debate that obviously it was going to be a Khamzat round 1. But the question was it going to be a 10-9 or 10-8? According to all 3 judges, it was 10-8, which obviously I don't blame, because I did have it 10-8. Yeah. Round 2, this is where some of the judges had it to either or fighter. So one of the judges had it. Well, 2 of the judges had it to Kamuru Usman 10-9, which I don't blame, because I think Kamuru did start landing in.
I think the second round, belonged to Kamuru because of he kind of, I think he rocked Khamzat once or twice with some stiff jabs.
Stiff jabs. Yeah, he's known for the stiff jab.
Yeah, some body shots here and there. So I think I agree with that.
Yeah, I think especially the first 3 minutes of round 2, Usman won that round. But then obviously I think he got taken down. Yeah, he got taken down, but I don't think that was enough to make Khamzat win the round. So I think Usman 10-9. Well, one of the judges had it Khamzat, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, round 2 I had it Kamuru Usman, and then round 3 one of the judges had it to Khamzat Chimaev, and the other 2 had it to Kamuru Usman. And I in my opinion, I had it to Usman. So speaking of that, if that was the case, if I had it 10-8 to Khamzat, round 2, round 3 to Usman 10-9, in terms of scoring,
should have been a draw.
It should have been, in my opinion, a 28-28. Yeah. But I don't hate on Khamzat winning, because Khamzat did have the better fight.
I think Khamzat had the fight in terms of like he was the one that's going forward. He was the one that wasn't like it wasn't like he was fighting off his back. I don't think either one were. I think they were trying to go forward, but like we said, Khamzat was the one that was pressuring him. But all in all, I think it was a very good fight.
Arguably the fight of the night.
I think it was arguably the fight of the night. It was entertaining. It had this literally like gripped in. I think it
was a fight basically of 2 welterweights fighting a middleweight.
Yeah.
So it could have been a different story if it was at welterweight, because obviously weighing in at 170 and then obviously hydrating up to maybe 182, 184. But obviously as they had to make 185 on fight night, which was today, they maybe could have been over 190 plus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would have been a different story if it was a welterweight. But yeah, as Hamzat won. I it was rumored, especially Dana White coming out before the fight even happened,
Mm-hmm.
that the winner of this fight would fight the champion in the middleweight division, which is Sean Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
And now Hamzat's won the fight. Um, it's a bit of a history between them two. I wouldn't say a major history, but like a small history because Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev have both sparred, so they know the ins and outs of, oh, this fight can do well in this area, where in another area he's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a very interesting fight if both fighters do eventually come together and fight for the middleweight championship.
Yeah, I think Sean Strickland, Khamzat Chimaev, I think that's going to just be absolute fireworks. I think it's going to be probably in whatever year it comes out, probably be next year. I think it probably could have been one of the fights of the years because I think it's just going to be two guys that talk a lot of stuff online
Yeah,
coming together. But obviously, we both know that they are quite composed and calculated in the octagon. But I think it's just going to be a fight where it's like, you know what, just like Kamuru and Khamzat did in the last round, we're like, you know what, let's go at it, let's swing for this
that's
one.
20, 30 seconds.
That's
Yeah.
20, 30 seconds was straight carnage. So I think it's going to be something similar. But no, I think it's going to be a great fight, and yeah, it'll be a good
Yeah,
fight.
we'll see if they obviously. I think that is a fight to make
Mm-hmm.
because Izzy's stepping down for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking a break.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was a very active middleweight champion, and obviously now he's not the champion anymore. And Strickland is.
Mm-hmm.
I think Strickland versus Hamza would probably make sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, congratulations to obviously Hamza. Let's see what he does next.
Definitely.
But yeah, moving on to the main event.
Yeah.
Arguably, probably one of the most shocking not decisions, but how it turned out.
Outcomes.
Yeah, outcomes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we both did have it as Islam Makhachev to win.
Yeah.
But not in that way.
No, not in a million years.
Yeah, not in that way, especially via head kick knockout.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he knocked Volkanovski in round one.
Mm-hmm.
That head kick was honestly that the timing and the accuracy of that head kick was very good.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's like they were saying, they had like a game plan where they were like low, high. You know, kept on showing him the low kicks to the back of the calf, to the quad, to the body, then going up to the head. I think it was just, you know, like they writ it up. I think something they practiced for. I think he was also
he was saying that this sort of game plan. I also,
yeah,
even if he was obviously he was originally scheduled to fight Charles Oliveira.
it was something he was going to do for
Yeah,
both.
he was going to do it for Charles as well. So
Yeah,
he did. He in post fight he didn't say.
but I think what it is as well is you have two fighters that are very good at wrestling, where they are very like, you know, they're actively looking for when is a takedown going to come. So when they throw strikes and kicks, it kind of maybe just throws them off a little bit. But yeah, I think this shows that Islam's more of just a wrestler. I think people are going to start paying him respect to his striking.
That's always been
His
the case.
game,
Like
so.
I obviously besides this event,
Mm-hmm.
all of Islam's fights before obviously the Volkanovski rematch,
Mm-hmm.
Islam's striking is heavily underrated.
Yeah.
Like out of even in the preview video when I said this as well,
Mm-hmm.
out of all those Dagestani fighters, he's probably got the best striking.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's people are going to start paying, you know, attention and going to give him his respect to his striking and his kicks and stuff. So, but no, I think you got to give huge props and respect to Alexander Volkanovski taking that fight in such short notice, losing like 20 pounds in 11 days or something
Yeah, it
like
was
that.
26 and a half. I think it was.
26, something like that. Crazy amount in such a short amount of time. But yeah, you got to give him his flowers. I think it's going to be something that people are going to be like, you know, you got to respect that because other people could have stepped up. I think they were talking about Dustin, but
Yeah,
Dustin was like, I don't think I'm making it.
yeah, Daniel Cormier post fight said that they did try to get Justin Gaethje.
Justin Gaethje. Sorry.
Justin Gaethje to accept the fight, but they did say that Justin Gaethje at the time when UFC called him was maybe like about 188, 190 pounds.
Yeah.
So it would have been maybe that's like 35 pounds to cut.
Yeah.
Whereas Volk was
20.
obviously he's a featherweight, so he's probably walking around about maybe 175, 180. So he had to only cut around about 25, 26 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad, but obviously it's not too bad compared to what Gaethje had to cut if Gaethje did step in.
Yeah.
But obviously still a lot of pounds.
Still a lot to lose.
In 12 days, sorry.
Yeah. So you gotta give him his flowers, and I think he spoke about it as well in the cage in the interview, saying that he's gonna go back down.
Yeah, he wants to fight in January.
Yeah, he said January because I think that was always scheduled for January after he fights in September.
In Toronto.
I think when he fought in September, he always knew that it was going to be January to fight Ilia Topuria. But
I think that's the next fight for Volk.
100%.
Because he said that he wants to stay active.
Yeah.
January, I think he will fight.
Definitely.
And obviously Ilia Topuria did tweet saying that Team he said Team Volkanovski, he forgot the S. So I don't know who Volkanovski is, but we all probably understood him that he was talking about Volkanovski. So Volkanovski versus Topuria in January makes sense.
Makes sense, and I think when he wins, because I think he will win, he's cleared out the division.
Yeah, there are a couple of contenders, but obviously they need to win.
They need to win against other people, because the people that Alex beat, they're probably thinking, okay, I need to beat someone else to go and fight against Alex again. So these new contenders haven't beat the people that Alex just beat, so they've got some people to come across. So I don't know. I'm just thinking it's I think once he beats Ilia Topuria, I think it's
he has to go back to the drawing board and say, what do I do?
What does he need to do?
Yeah, what's next?
We did have a little convo about it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens if the fight gets booked. Because obviously this is going on a bit of a tangent, but if Volk can't make that January date, there were rumors saying that Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria for the interim featherweight championship.
Yeah.
And most of the comments, as you would expect, saying that Ilia don't accept it because Max is there, and Max has been everyone besides Volk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think it was a good win. But on the other side of the cage, who's next for Islam?
Who's next for Islam? Obviously, there's a couple of fighters.
Definitely.
Probably the two main ones are Charles and Gaethje.
And Poirier. I say Poirier only because once he beats those two, he's going to be there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't know where Poirier's headspace at the moment because as he lost to Gaethje, obviously he's still in the lightweight division, but as he's coming to the end of his career, he must be thinking that, this
is probably going to be my last chance.
Do I go on to another title run to fight for the title?
Yeah,
because obviously remember he fought Khabib, lost the title. He fought who did he fight? Charles, and obviously Charles choked him out. So he's had the opportunity to fight for two opportunities, and obviously both got taken away from him. So personally, I think Charles and Gaethje are ahead of him. Poirier is still there, but I think Poirier is like, do I go on to another title run? If I don't, I just want to fight I just want to make exciting fights happen now.
Definitely.
And probably the most exciting fights are probably in the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Personally. But yeah, Islam, obviously Charles was originally scheduled to fight Islam. And it does make sense for Charles to come back. Well, UFC to call him saying that, once you get your cut sorted out, we are looking to book you against Islam again for the rematch. So I do think that happens sometime next year, probably the sometime first quarter of next year.
I think it's probably going to be a March matchup. February, March matchup.
It would be good if it was at UFC 300, which I believe is in end of March or April. And obviously Dana did say that, UFC 300. I want at least 3 title fights. Yeah. And Islam vs Charles is one of the highly anticipated rematches.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense to have it at UFC 300.
Yeah, definitely.
But Gage is obviously there. He's a BMF title, but for me, it doesn't mean anything.
Nah, I
BMF.
don't think it really means much.
Yeah.
But no, that was UFC 294 for you guys, and you can catch us at 295 with John Jones and Stipe Miocic.
Yes,
which
UFC
is
295 in New York,
New York,
Madison Square Garden.
the mecca of UFC.
Yeah, they always go to MSG once per year, and it's either in late October, early November, and obviously they're doing it in November, and is headline arguably by the greatest of all time. So
Literally
greatest of all time versus the greatest
heavyweight of all time.
So potentially GOAT status on the line. So let's see.
Definitely.
But yeah, we'll catch you for the preview and all the build up for UFC 295. Hope you guys enjoyed obviously UFC 294, and we heard Islam Makhachev and still.
And still. See you guys.
All right, see you guys for UFC 295.